Hello, dear friends. It looks like the same, but it is no longer the same. I don't know if you have noticed. Opinion piece. New reality. New identity. Difficult to explain. Collapse of the matrix. We are the protagonists. This summer is very special. Let's start. Have you noticed that you are losing interest in the three-dimensional world around you? How you are not so caught up in events and the old irritations are no longer so strong? The physical world and the people you see in the street don't seem the same to you. It's almost as if they live in a different world from yours. You interact with them as usual, but they are in a parallel existence to yours, says Vidya Fraser. This new reality is much more attractive. The chaotic events of the world feel distant and are no longer so important. They will resolve themselves somehow. You are still thinking, but the thoughts feel lighter. There are not as many as there used to be, and you are not constantly assaulted. You still feel emotions, but they are also less heavy and substantial. Somehow you feel happier, freer, lighter, often for no reason, and sometimes also more confused. The old reality is collapsing, both inside and outside of you. It is coming out and taking with it everything that is of a lower frequency, and this can cause temporary discomfort. But the good news is that this new reality is also here now. It is available and it is flooding into the old reality. You only need to be still for a moment and you will feel the lightness, the clarity, the freedom it contains, and it will make you smile. Definition. The new reality is a term used to describe the transformations that occur in society, the economy, and everyday life as a result of situations that generate impact on a large scale during events that provoke radical changes that result in changes in the way people live, work, relate, and perceive the world around them. Reality refers to the objective and tangible existence of things, facts or phenomena around us that can be perceived or experienced in some way. It is the set of all things and events that constitute the world as we perceive it. It is a broad concept ranging from the physical and tangible to the abstract and subjective. Reality encompasses both the physical and material aspect of the universe and the natural laws that govern it, as well as the subjective and mental experiences of conscious beings. Realities, or reality in singular, includes both the observable and the measurable, and that which is beyond our direct perception, but which can be inferred or understood through reasoning or shared experiences. New identity. Your old identity is disappearing. Your fifth-dimensional self is emerging, and perhaps, to compound this strangeness, the events in your old life that were once so important and time-consuming simply don't appeal to you as much anymore. There may be nothing to replace these old interests at the moment, but your enthusiasm for them is gone, and many of the people you used to spend time with are a bit boring now. They seem to be traveling a different path to you. In fact, your old familiar sense of identity seems to be disappearing. Your interests, your beliefs, your relationships, the things you spend time on, the things you were good at, what you did, and even your spiritual mission. Everything familiar to you is up in the air now, but somehow it doesn't matter much. Something has definitely changed in your life and in your consciousness, but you can't name it or describe it. Somehow, reality itself is different, and you yourself are different. You can try to explain in that what way, but words don't exactly describe the sensations and awareness you are having. You may not be in this new reality all the time, but sometimes you seem to slip into it without realizing what happened. You are the builders, says Sophia Love. The work is not finished, but you have achieved your goal. The new earth exists in the minds of many. It is talked about, visualized, written about, and fought for. It is real because of you. Your light has led the way and continues to light the way. Your masterpiece is taking shape. There are more stages to go. Your presence facilitates each stage. It will be worth every step taken. Reset news. Charlie Watt predicted an action before the end of June, but no one knows the day or time. According to Max Seda, everything is quiet because the original plan was changed. DJ expects that the launch of technologies will occur from 2024 and that by 2027 all things will be made new in the image of the light. We are tired of this movie. I want to eat popcorn for the rest of my life, says Sister Hermit. If the coalition, the White Hats, the Chinese elders, and the powers that be want us to help rebuild the world, let them give us the means. Mystics and hippies gather at the Stonehenge to celebrate the summer solstice. If you choose to acknowledge your divinity and express your life force as co-creator with Source, you are reflected as love and unity, a celebration of oneness. If you allow it to be diverted and used to empower dark forces, it will be lost and you will be left with nothing. Darkness manipulates you to become its source of energy. Lush means leech in ancient Hebrew, a parasite that feeds on low-frequency negative energy generated by fear, pain, abuse, conflict, and war. QFS. According to Logan B., QFS doesn't need ISO 20022. This is a P2P blockchain standard, which means a computer-to-computer integration. The QFS is a computer with all stored accounts for people and companies, even if they don't have bank accounts or any kind of computer. When we communicate with the QFS and instruct it to perform transactions, it does so from account to account within itself and informs the parties involved that the transaction is being performed on the QFS. Parties involved that the transaction is done through the Starlink satellite system. No one can hack your identity and fool the QFS that the two parties involved are not who they say they are. ISO 20022 currently recognizes 8 cryptocurrencies, and it will take a couple more years to determine which of the other 8,792 cryptocurrency it will include. The idea is that everyone will get a Q phone and a quantum computer at the same time. Geopolitics. The multipolar world may be born this summer at several international summits, says French journalist Thierry Mason. The BRICS alliance is about to expand, and now French President Macron wants an invitation to the next BRICS summit. More than 30 countries are knocking on the BRICS door. Former FBI agent John de Souza wants that we will not be attacked by aliens. The next 3 to 6 months would be the biggest spiritual war against the people, according to Polish intelligence sources. Fed staff have published research papers that talk about bank friction, which means preventing people from withdrawing their money from banks and preventing bank runs. The UN plans a digital ID system linked to bank accounts. This plan resembles that of the Davos Forum, according to Frank Bergman. Several big banks reach out to the metaverse for a new generation of customers. Young people are starting to gravitate towards dumb phones. 2/3 of Americans want to go back to the time before the internet and mobile phones, according to a survey. Update. Missing submarine reported lost. Storms and heat waves mark the start of summer in Europe. NASA admits that the change in climate is due to changes in the Earth's orbit. German law allows to change gender annually. Economy. The dollar rises and sterling falls. The Fed and the ECB could cut bank reserves by 90%. Macron criticizes the inefficiency of the global financial system. Hungary avoids EU sanctions on Russian oil imports. Bank of England raises rates to 5% to tackle inflation. Rates will rise again in 2023, but at a slower pace according to Fed's Powell. Fed says there is a long way to go to control inflation. US banks retreat as they prepare capital increases. JP Morgan mistakenly deleted 47 million records, SEC says. Turkey almost doubles its interest rate, but markets say it's not enough. The Turkish lira plunges to its lowest level. Bitcoin is at an all-time high as demand rises. Oil and copper prices show signs of recession. Americas. Mexico's inflation slowed more than expected in early June. Inflation in Mexico falls to 5.18%, its lowest level since March 2021. Mexico's central bank maintains its interest rate at 11.25%. Mexican justice rejects AMLO's electoral reform. Tropical storm Brett continues its westward progress and threatens the Caribbean islands. Argentina's economy grows 1.3% year-on-year in the first quarter of 2023. The Inter-American Development Bank grants Argentina $350 million loan. Peru's Congress approves a law approving the entry of US troops with weapons of war. Brazil's electoral court initiates a trial against Bolsonaro. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.